Program that helps families pay for housing is getting an overhaul. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, made their announcement right here in Metro Atlanta this morning.
Atlanta News First Don Shipman is live for us in Brookhaven. Hi, Don. So federal, state, and local officials say that this is an updated voucher program that's going to help families and developers.
That's exactly right. Hi to both of you. And yeah, the idea here is to bolster Atlanta's housing stock. This neighborhood right here, a perfect example. Take a look right here. It's the location and it's the type of housing that is here. Officials chose to highlight this neighborhood because the people who live here come from varying socioeconomic backdrops.
This is that redevelopment at Johnson Ferry, formerly public housing.
Using a Brookhaven mixed-use community as a backdrop, the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development joining officials with the DeKalb County Housing Authority to announce new measures to make it easier for low-income families to access financial help for housing.
Regrettably, we've had a practice that's long since been debunked and it's changing, of separating low-income families, and that's a failed policy, and it's an unfair policy.
Here, the site of the former Johnson Ferry Housing Project, a new community built by Brooklee Development, nestled up against Blackburn Park with owner-occupied homes, market-rate rentals, and senior housing.
We're not building one class of housing for these individuals or families and another class of housing for these individuals or families. It's quality housing.
Some of the families living here, those who meet certain income requirements, pay a reduced rent based on income. HUD, through a voucher program, pays the rest. HUD says that voucher program, which is guaranteed funding for a developer, not only helps families, but also allows the developer, like Brooklee, to access more private financing.
These developments are, as you can imagine, difficult to finance. And getting that private financing that is triggered because of the place-based voucher is critical.
And HUD says that is key to fixing Atlanta's and the rest of the country's housing shortage.
Now, that voucher program uses a wait list through local housing authorities. Before, it was just one list, but under this new housing choice vouchers, families can choose which community to be on that list and then ultimately live. I have sign-up information, by the way, at our website. Live in Brookhaven, Don Shipman, Atlanta News First.